Whoa, hello there. You don't know who I am, but that's okay because today we're going to go over what you've been probably racking your brain about a whole bunch, and that is what gift to give your retro gamer. This is going to be a collection of great ideas. So whether it's the holidays or some other special occasion, you're looking to get a gift for that retro gamer in your life because they probably already have everything, or you think they already have everything, but they don't. Trust me, there's always something out there that they don't have. But what we're going to do for this video is we're going to look at a bunch of different gift ideas. And like I said, this is not just for the current holiday season. This is for any time during the year. We have a lot to go over. As I started putting this together, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So before you end up giving up and rush out and just grab them a gift card to somewhere for something, which is great because then they get to spend on what they want. But it always means more when it's coming from you. Anyways, let's go. So just sit back, relax, and let's see what's out there. And before we start, one last thing, just to make this clear. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by anything that you're going to see here. So I'm going to talk from just experience, from where I've bought stuff or things that I have, and that's it. This is just from one consumer to another consumer. All right. I was so much to choose from, I wasn't sure where to start, but we'll just start here, and that is the easy, I think, are some easy things to pick up for your collector. Because maybe they don't have these, maybe they've been avoiding these, but that is game collections. As you know, some retro games are very expensive to get, but you can get them in a collection. Because, hey, maybe they don't have these consoles yet, or these games, and they want to try some out. This is a good way to get that happen. Good Lord. The other good thing is these are usually pretty inexpensive. So let's go over a few of them and show you what I'm talking about. Let's go back to the Game Boy Advance. We have here just the Namco Museum. Right? There we go. That's going to have a bunch of Namco games on it, specifically from a developer. Or, sticking with Game Boy Advance, you can grab the Pac-Man collection. That's right, yeah, a collection of several different Pac-Man games. And that's great for on-the-go stuff. Other examples are currently, for the Switch, we've got the Ace Attorney collection. You see, these are just ideas of collections. Once you know what your gamer's favorite franchise is, you can really start looking for these, and you'll probably find them. Like this one right here, which just came out a little while ago, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection. Look at this. 13 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. Or you go back a generation to the PS4 era, the Final Fantasy Pixel collection. Oh my gosh. 40 games are on here. And these compilations, these collections, these anthologies, whatever you want to call them, go back quite a ways. Because here is the Atari anthology for the PS2. The Atari anthology for the PS2 brings together 85 games. So there's another great collection. Or you go back to the PS1 era, and there were still collections in the PS1 as well. Here's Namco Arcade Museum Volume 3. Volume 3. Bring it back down. This isn't full of 85 games. It's got 6 hits on it. 6 classic hits. And a lot of these have lots of extra features to them too. They have some bonus content with art galleries, developer interviews, some behind the scenes stuff. These collections are a lot, and they're very good. And if anybody has been skipping out on them, you shouldn't be. Like I mentioned, if you know a few of their favorite franchises, you can look up just to see what kind of collections are available. Turtles, Ace Attorney, Final Fantasy has collections all over the place. Doom has collections all over the place. You can find what you're looking for. There's always a good collection. And sticking with physical games, there are still brand new games being made for the Sega Genesis, Nintendo Entertainment System, even the Atari Jaguar. These are, of course, in limited quantities, and sometimes you need to have some pre-orders in, but some are still readily available. And then, of course, you can always hit eBay, and you are going to pay a premium, but said that's okay. These are brand new releases. They're not retro titles, but they are retro games for retro systems. And one of those is, for instance, we've got Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Stale Gum. And they come full out just like a Nintendo cartridge, although a little more special now, right? Because we've got a few years since Nintendo was around. And then you get your full-on instruction manual. It's great. It's really cool. So you can really look for this. Like I said, they may not be actual retro games, but they are made for your retro consoles. And they are out there. Like I said, you just need to do a little bit of research and you can find some. Now I've got some games I want to tell you about which are very inexpensive, easy to find, and something I'm pretty sure your gamer does not have because they're not the most, what do you want to say? They're not the most highly sought after games. And that is, go to any retro store and just ask them for their loose, say, Game Boy Advance games or DS games or whatever handheld that your that your particular gamer loves to use, because they will bring out a bag similar to this that's just full of, well, what do you say? Third-party licensed games that are not the best, but they're not the worst. So let's just take a quick look into see what I'm talking about. Got, yeah, like here you go. A series of unfortunate events. This is based off the movie with Jim Carrey. Oh, this is great. Look, we got Pet Vet. How wonderful is that? You've got, of course, there's all kinds of these ones like dogs and cats, horses. Everything ends with a Z. Oh my gosh, look, we've got dogs too. Look at that, there was a sequel that did so well. There are a lot of these games, and you know what? They can be fun. They have entertainment value to them. I know this may throw a lot of you off, but you know, sometimes these things have fun music. They've got great animations. Sometimes they just have good gameplay as well. We got Strawberry Shortcake. I said you just grab a handful of these. And we got Cars right there from the Disney Pixar movie. You just get, oh man, look, M&M Blast. You just, jeez, Care Bears. It just keeps coming. You just grab a handful. Sometimes, I mean, your retro game shop will almost give them away for free because they can't move these things off their shelves. But I tell you, not only is it just a fun gift and you can have a good laugh about it, but seriously, you can have some decent fun because you can always find a bit of entertainment in some of these titles. It's not the greatest, but it's a fun, like I said, very inexpensive way to give a whole mass of games if you need to. And I don't mean to say that you can only find those licensed kind of silly games on the Game Boy Advance or the Nintendo DS, but you can find them anywhere. You can find them for the PlayStation 1. Well, here's Tigger's Honey Hunt. So you can find these games across any console, anything retro, anything even modern. Like I said, it's definitely something that your gamer probably does not have, as these are all empty calorie games, but you can find some entertainment within them. Okay, so you need something a little bit more than just some games. You need something a little meatier, a little beefier, something that's really going to fill them up. Well, there are some really cool mini consoles out there. Look, here's one that I've had for a long time, and you used to see them everywhere. You can still find them all over the place now, and that is just an Atari joystick, but it is a plug and play, as you see with the cord here, with the start and select on it. And this, it's a fully functional joystick, and it has, I think it's got 10 built-in games onto it. And you just plug the thing into your TV, and then away you go, and you play around with a bunch of Atari games. So these next I'm going to show are a little bit more expensive, and you really, I think, can only find them off of eBay now because there was just a limited run for them, but they are super cool. And just in case your retro gamer doesn't have one of these consoles or has been thinking about it, or like I said, just wants more of a minimalistic way to collect, is the mini console for... Let's look at the Sega Genesis first. This little guy right here, it is a Generation 1. But this comes preloaded with 20 Genesis games curated. I think they did a second version as well. And it also comes with 2 controllers, so you can have some good multiplayer fun as well. And then in the same vein as that, we have the Super Nintendo Mini. Then you open up the front so you can plug in your 2 controllers that come with this. Like the Genesis, this comes pre-loaded with 20 different Super Nintendo games. I know the big draw when this was first released was Star Fox 2 came out with this. which was really awesome to get to play since it was never released for the Super Nintendo, so that's the only way to get that. So these are great, and what's also really great about these is that they are HDMI connections, so you can hook them up to your modern TVs and everything looks and plays and sounds just great. These are great little fully official and approved emulation machines. Now, there are several different mini consoles for a big range of old retro consoles. You just got to go look them up. Like I said, just do a little bit of research, a little bit of searching, and you can find them. These are always cool to add, and great for on the go too if you need something to take with you. So rolling down that same lane, but in the vein of more of a supersized version of a mini console, you can grab the Atari 2600 Plus or the Atari 7800 Plus. This is great. You can definitely check out my my unboxing video for this, but this comes with a cartridge. It's got 10 games on it, and the great thing about this with the Atari 2600 Plus is it plays all of the original 20. Not all, there are a couple that it doesn't, but it plays original 2600 carts and I believe 7800 carts as well. So you get a cool, not mini console, but not full-size console. It's just right there in the middle. It's the Goldilocks. It's just a perfect size. It's still available right off the Atari site. It is a wonderful ad for any collection. So let's keep rolling with hardware. But there are different versions and different variations of consoles throughout all of gaming history. You've seen them, and I'm sure your gamer has several of them already. So that's another thing to look at. See what possible variant of one of their favorite retro consoles they don't have. Like for instance, you saw the mini Sega Genesis, that was Generation 1. Well, the Sega Genesis also had a second iteration. Right here like this. It also had a third iteration, but I don't have that one yet. Or we go to PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 had a super slim model, which is this little guy. Look at that. That is tiny compared to the original fat PS2. Well, there's also handhelds that have tons of variants. Like, for instance, the Game Boy Color. Here's just this cool lime green one. Now, the Game Boy Color had all kinds of colors variants released for it. Or there's, right here next to me. There's a Naruto Game Boy Advance. I mean, look how beautiful that is. There's all kinds of... Dude, there were so many different releases for the Game Boy Advance. And you're going to see that Nintendo had all kinds of different releases for their handheld systems. Even up to today with the Switch, there's all kinds of different variants and versions of it as well. So you could always look to get a new version of one of your gamer's favorite consoles. All right, let's move quickly from console hardware to other styles of hardware that you could get, and it is to get your gamer a Game Genie. These are controversial back in the day because these are just ways to hack the games that you plug into them, but that's all right. You can get Game Genies for all kinds of different systems, and hold up. Yeah, the Game Genie. And these were made for several different systems. You can look up to see which ones those were. I don't exactly know them off the top of my head, but they're a great little ad because it's just something fun that can make, that can enhance, video game enhancer right there. It can enhance your play as you try out some different stuff or some really crazy cheat code. Now, away from that, let's go into the other peripheral stuff I was going to say, and that is, just get them a new controller, right? Grab them a new controller for their PS4 or their PS3, a different color one, or go out and find some weird third-party controller for their GameCube. You can never have enough controllers, and by giving them some cool controllers with some great designs or some cool colors, you're enhancing everything, and it's a win-win. Okay. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of that was a lot. That was a lot of stuff to go through for games and for consoles and for some accessories. A lot of wonderful ideas. And now let's step away from that and let's go to other types of media and where we can find a lot of other video game related items. All right, this next category is definitely one that is near and dear to my heart and is near and dear to everybody's heart, actually, once you start talking to people about retro games and their nostalgia for them and what they love about the old games and even new games too, and that is soundtracks. The music that you find within these games are always just wonderful. Whether it be a short little ditty or a nice long epic overture about that just really brings you into the game, they're always so great. And so with that, look and see what soundtracks your gamer may or may not have, and then try and find some. And they come in all kinds of different media. But I've focused mostly, of course, on CD and then actual vinyl. And I'll just show you a couple here. So for instance, we've got a Castlevania, Order of Ecclesia soundtrack. Awesome, great, right there on CD. How cool. And then we've got a Contra soundtrack. Who would have thought Contra would have a soundtrack ever pressed for them on vinyl? You know, what's great about these when they're on vinyl is the artwork, and then of course you get some special. Ooh, and then of course you get some special. Ooh, you get some special color vinyl record to go with it. Another great thing about the soundtracks is many people like to put their own spin on the soundtrack. So it's not just, the verbatim music from the game pressed onto something. You get some great artistic renditions of stuff. Like this one here is Samus and Chill. Right, for the Metroid series. This just has a bunch of music from the different Metroid games in a lo-fi style of music. And you can find soundtrack music of all kinds. You've got the lo-fi, you've got the direct, pretty much imported straight from the game. You've got your hard rock or metal versions. You've got jazz versions. Some of those jazz versions are awesome. And of course, some of my favorite, you can get some piano compilations that are just people playing these pieces all on piano, and it's so good. The artwork sometimes in these is awesome. I'll show you this right here. Just when you pull out to get to the record, you've got this awesome artwork. It's so awesome to have in the collection. And then, of course, with it being Diablo, you have some blood red actual LPs. Find their favorite franchise, Zelda, Doom, Halo, Forza Horizon. These soundtracks are in all kinds of different shapes and sizes and ways to be listened to. Get them in their hands because these are awesome, awesome pieces to add to your collection. Oh, and what else is there? Well, there's plenty more. Whereas we were just listening to all the wonderful music from games that we loved, now you can move on to reading about all those games you loved. The old games, the new games. There is an amazing amount of literature to be found out there for not just retro gaming, but actually game specific as well. And also not just like behind the scenes game specific, but authorized novels, fictions based on these gaming worlds. And we got a stack of examples here for us to go through. So we've got, of course, World of Warcraft. They have a lot of different books. We've got stuff like, look, here's a Ghost Recon novel. When I found this, I was so excited. This is super cool. It's an XCOM 2 novel. Continue on the novel path. There's even novels for StarCraft 2. Anyways, wherever you go to get your books, they're all over the place. Even the official websites have this stuff. Now that's the novel side of things. Then we get into some more technical style of books. Here we got the Atari Archive, Volume 1. It's great just to read up for the historical aspect of it and to see what the mindset was of people, what their limitations were, what their challenges were with programming and developing for Atari at the day. In the day, it's really cool. It's good. And then also along that line, you've got the NES works for 1987, and this is just that. This is a book that is all about the Nintendo Entertainment System for the year 1987 and all the different games that came out, how the development went, or how they composed the music, how they came up with the graphics, or even the story. It's just got some really awesome insider information. There's also just the art of a book, right? The art of, and then say whatever franchise or game you want. They probably have one. Here is just the Art of Destiny. Really help you get immersed into the world of whatever game it is that you're looking at for this. So art books are always a great way to go too. I love them. I love them all. And then if novels about your favorite series, your favorite games, and art books about your favorite games just aren't enough, then you can just get some actual giant books that are purely just for diving into the deepest of the deep end of the pool for everything about your game. And you can do that with one of these examples of like the Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive. And this is volume 1. And this is just full of everything you wanted to know about Final Fantasy and the games. The last couple of things for print media I will show you, which is, well, it's collectible for me. Some people don't collect them, but that's okay. Maybe you can have your gamers start to collect them by getting them their first few. And that is some strategy guides. There you go. Strategy guides. You can find these all over the place. Definitely at used bookstores. Lots of times, I mostly find all mine at Goodwill. But yeah, they cover all kinds of old retro games that are out there. And you can just find one or two of these. And sometimes, by finding one of these, it really gives me that push to go and then visit that game and to play that game. Because it's like, hey, I've got a strategy guide now. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. And then read through and see what I should be doing. Right, here's another strategy guide type 1, and this is just for the Super Nintendo Player's Guide. So it covers all kinds of different games for Super Nintendo and gives you strategies for them. But strategy guides always, well, I think they're always a great gift. And like I said, you know your gamer, maybe they're not into the strategy guide stuff. Maybe they do need some type of novelization or some type of art book or some type of big compendium about some of their favorite games or gaming franchises or even their favorite consoles, like you saw the Atari one. I have a lot, and they're all awesome. that was pretty good. Anyways, now for even more stuff, more things for your gamer, because you can never have enough stuff. But I get told I can from time to time. But anyways, here's something else that you can get them to deal with their gaming needs, and that is the wonderful world of Lego. That's right, and you've seen plenty of them. You've seen all the Mario Legos, you've seen all the Sonic Legos, and there are lots of that. All the Harry Potter stuff, you know what it is. You've seen them, and I'm just here to say, go for it. They're a lot of fun. I know in our house, the set that's really big to always grab is Minecraft. These Minecraft ones are a blast because they are just like the game. It's all blocks. I mean, they're cool. We've also really been getting into the Animal Crossing. All the things you can do with it. And on the other side of Lego, there's their competitor, the Mega Constructs. And those guys, well, I don't know if they do them anymore, but really, for a long time, they were big into, I want to say Call of Duty, some Halo stuff, and definitely a lot of Destiny stuff. And I got plenty of their Destiny builds. And here's one. This one I have not yet put together. It's just another fun way to connect with the gaming universe. Gaming lore you just really want to be immersed in. These little sets like this are so much fun, and they really add to that. So if your gamer hasn't started collecting these, well, here's a new rabbit hole for them to jump into and to see where there is no end. But wait, we're not done yet. There's still one more big category I want to go into, and that is the category of board games and card games. There are plenty that involves your gamer's favorite franchises and favorite retro games. And like I said, all you gotta do is look some of these up and to dive down and find them. Of course, without even showing you, there's plenty of monopolies out there, right? I've got a couple. I've got like Pac-Man and Animal Crossing and probably another version as well, because there's just so many. But here are some other ones, some other ideas. We've got, in the vein of card games, Magic the Gathering did an Assassin's Creed set. Now, that's pretty cool. I never thought I was ever going to see Assassin's Creed, or really any type of video game crossover with Magic the Gathering, but there we have it. We've also got Super Mario Brothers. Has got a little board game right here, this one. The Power Up card game. like everything, they vary in quality, right? They vary also in cost and definitely in quality. Some of them are super easy to pick up and play, and some of them, are a little difficult and not the greatest. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It's just a great thing to add to your gamer's collection for them. And then there's also something larger like this. You get the Resident Evil deck building game. This one's really cool. I need to see if there was ever any expansions or something for it, because this one was a lot of fun to play. And then you've also got your classics like Yahtzee, and here's a version of Yahtzee for Borderlands. Yahtzee with Borderlands. You got a giant claptrap you're going to roll your dice out of. And there are plenty of other board games out there as well. There's the Pac-Man board game. This one is a lot of fun. You set up an actual Pac-Man table, and then you waka around and eat up the power pellets while being chased by ghosts. Or if your gamer really loves to, how would you say that? Really loves self-inflicting pain upon themselves, then you can pick them up the XCOM board game. That's right. It is just as brutal and just as mean as XCOM the game. And whew, boy, that one's a lot of fun. Yeah, I definitely fail and can't save the world most of the time, but it's a great time to try. But there's other versions of things out there too, right? There are some checker sets for the different games. There are chess sets for other various games. I've got a chess set for Destiny, I believe, somewhere over there as well. And there's just all kinds of just board games for you to go out and to find for that franchise that your gamer loves. And like I said, it's just a great way to also get yourself included with playing around, or some other family members to play around within one of their favorite settings, like the Resident Evil setting. Hey, let's all work together on building our decks as we try and fight our way out of not getting eaten by these zombies that are after us, right? Or help out your commander trying to save the world when, oh boy, these aliens are going to get you most likely. Or maybe your princess is in this castle, or maybe she's not. All fun and all good to get. And I recommend every one of them because I've played them and I've enjoyed them. As you can see, as it comes to giving a gift for your retro gamer, there are gifts all over the place, all over the spectrum. Just got to do a little bit of digging and definitely go through this video as many times as you need to. But just some honorable mentions for stuff too. There's always out there as well, always some little figures for something, right? Here's a little Sackboy bobblehead. If they're big into Nintendo, there's always amiibos to get. Whether they are packaged or unpackaged, like this one here with Samus, there's plenty of those around. Whew, I don't know what else to talk about right now at the moment. I mean, there's always merchandise as well, right? Just your regular t-shirts that you see all the time. You can always grab those as well. You can never go wrong with a good gaming t-shirt as well. So really, that's it. Thank you all for sticking through with this with me to the end. I had so much. I've made a giant mess. There was so much to go over that I wasn't sure if I was coming or going, or what was left, what was right. I had too much to talk about. We'll see how the final version of this video looks like at the end. So yeah, I'm just wishing you and your gamer all the very best, no matter what time of the year it is. And, hopefully you got a couple good ideas from this on what to get. If not, you can always drop a question or a comment down below to let me know. Maybe I can help out a little bit there, or maybe I was totally off base, but that's okay. We gave it a shot. And what is it that I say here at the end? I always forget. Oh, yes. And as always, game on.